We grew these big, beautiful onions, and we're going to show you how to tell when they are ready for picking. Stay tuned. We went to our local co-op. No, we didn't. We went to our local farm supply store, and there's a man that's local to our area. He always brings in sets of onions, fresh onion sprouts, not the dormant sets like you'd buy that are half grown in the store. But every year I go in and I buy a big bundle of these onion sets, and there's about 50 onions to a bundle. I bought a bundle of the Granix onions, and I bought a bundle of purple onions. We've already harvested our Granix onions, and man, we had a wonderful year for onions. They were absolutely huge. They were the best onions we ever grew since we've been growing onions. And same thing for our purple onions. Look how nice and big those purple onions are. These are probably the best looking purple onions we've ever grown. But I had somebody ask me the other day, how do you know when the onions are ready to pick? Well, basically there are 4 different ways to know when your onions are ready to pick. If you feel around the base of the onion and it starts getting squishy like this one is, then you know that's a sign that it's ready to start getting picked. Another sign is when you look over at these onion tops and the tops are starting to die and dry out, that's another sign that these onions are ready to pick. Another sign, and this is one of the most classic signs that most people look for, is whenever the top gets weak here in the stem and then the stem falls over. When your onions fall over, you know they are ready to be harvested. Go ahead and pull this one out of here. Now, if you don't get these before the rain hits, they'll start to rot. So we want to go ahead and start pulling all of our onions out, because in a day or two we're supposed to be having some rain coming in, and we don't want to risk losing these onions to rot. So we'll lay that one off to the side. So that's 3 ways. What's the 4th way? Go out sometimes in the woods and study plants. Talk to the plants. Whatever it takes, a plant needs to be your friend if you're going to grow him or her. No, it's not a mistake. There are 4 ways. I just can't remember what the 4th way is. We don't make mistakes, only happy little accidents. Another way you can tell that onions are ready is you start getting this paper shell on the outside, and then you'll also start to see some of the other signs that the onions are finishing up. So when you get a nice mature size onion, you start getting these paper skins, and then you see 1 or 2 of the other signs, you know, combined, those are classic ways that these onions are finished growing. And we could leave these onions in the ground for a few more days and they will be fine. But like I said earlier, we got some rain coming and we don't want to risk losing these, because if these tops die out completely and water gets in this top and it sets puddled up in there, it'll start rotting down through that stem. All right, we're going to go ahead and start pulling the rest of these onions. I've already pulled out all of my white Granix onions. Then we're going to take you inside and we're going to show you how we process them and put them up for the year. We typically grow enough onions that will last us an entire year, slicing, dicing, freezing, and also eating fresh for a hamburger or something. All right, let's go to it. All right, so these are their yellow onions that we grew this year. These are the Granix onions, and if these were grown in Vidalia, Georgia, these would be called the Vidalia onion. These are the good sweet onions that everybody likes to go to the store and find every year. But you can see how big ours turned out this year. We have absolutely wonderful looking onions. Look at that, just beautiful. Just almost every one of them turned out. Now we've got all of our onions laid out here in our outdoor kitchen. We've got them spaced out so that the onions don't touch. We're allowing these tops to dry. Now whenever these dry, we can go ahead and snip that off and we can take them inside. And we do 2 things with them. We'll store a few of these in the crisper in the refrigerator for fresh slicing for sandwiches and Michelle using fresh. And the majority of these will be chopped up into a freezer bag, and we use those all year long. Now here's the rest of our yellow onions over here. We typically lay these out for at least a week and let these things dry for about a week before we start processing and putting them up. Look at that, that's just absolutely huge. Big, beautiful onions. But these tops being all dried out, and you know these are about ready to process. All right, let's take a few in. Let's go ahead and chop some up. Let me get that other one that was about to. All right, we're in the kitchen. We've got our tops off. We've got some of our roots trimmed off. We've got 50 onions here that we've harvested. I've given a few to my mom. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick out some nice ones like this that will go good on a burger. And we're going to set 10 of these off to the side for fresh slicing. And we're not going to wash them. We're just going to set them off to the side. We're going to put those straight into the refrigerator, and those will keep long term. Then we're going to take the rest of these, when you have a big ugly oblong onion like this, and that's too big for a burger, we're going to slice all these up. We're going to wash them, take the onion peels off of them. Then we're going to put them into pieces that are big enough to go down through this slicer here. We've got this Le Presse slicer. And I mentioned that only because last year people wanted to know what kind of slicer this was. So we got a Le Presse slicer. It's going to put them into dices, into slivers. We're going to put them into Ziploc gallon bags and into the freezer. All right, let's get started. All right, that's it for our Vidalia harvest this year. We got 4.5 gallons of Ziploc freezer bags full of diced chopped onions that are going to go into the freezer. We do a lot of sauteing with these, and we mix with peppers. We hope to get this many peppers sliced and diced and into the freezer this year also. We haven't even done our red onions. This is by far the biggest harvest of onions we've ever done. We're blown away. Out of the 50 onions that you saw us harvest, we held back 12 of those for fresh eating and giving away to some people that are close to us. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and leave us a comment what type of onion you like to grow for your area, and let us know. And don't forget, keep growing, keep building, and always keep adventuring. Together, we're Flomaton Famous. Thanks for watching.